millions of years ago, long before humans appeared. The ancestors of cats were already walking the earth around 25 to 30 million years ago. The first true cat-like animals emerged. These early cats did not look exactly like the pets we know today. They were small, agile hunters with long bodies, flexible spines, and sharp teeth designed to cut meat. Their claws were only partly retractable, not yet as perfect as modern cats, but still useful for grabbing prey. One of the earliest known ancestors was Proailurus, often called the first true cat. It lived in forests of Europe about 25 million years ago. Proailurus was about the size of a small lynx, with a long tail that helped it balance when climbing and chasing. It hunted birds, rodents, and small reptiles, moving quietly through the dense vegetation. Proailurus already showed many features we still see in cats today: sharp, carnivorous teeth, night vision eyes, and stealthy behavior. From Proailurus came another important ancestor, Pseudaelurus, which appeared about 20 million years ago. This species spread across Asia, Europe, and North America. From Pseudaelurus, two big evolutionary branches were born. One branch created the famous saber-toothed cats with huge canine teeth. The other branch created the modern cats we know today, from lions and tigers to our house cats. As climates changed and forests gave way to open grasslands, cats adapted. Step by step, their claws became fully retractable to keep them sharp. Their eyes became masters of low light, giving them excellent night hunting skills. Their ears evolved to detect high-pitched sounds of tiny prey. Whiskers became sensitive tools to measure space and movement. Their bodies became more flexible, allowing explosive jumps and quick turns. Evolution was sculpting the perfect hunter. By about 10 million years ago, cats had spread widely. Some became large and powerful, able to take down deer and other big prey. Others stayed small and specialized in catching rodents and birds. Their skulls became stronger for a killing bite, their muscles more efficient, and their hunting strategies more precise. So millions of years ago, cats were not pets or companions. They were survivors, silent, patient hunters who lived by their instincts. And even though time has passed and cats now sit in our homes, those ancient instincts still remain. When your cat crouches, wiggles, and pounces on a toy, it is repeating a behavior written by evolution millions of years ago. After the first ancestors like Proailurus and Pseudaelurus, cats began to split into different evolutionary paths. Around 10 to 12 million years ago, two major lineages appeared, the big cats and the small cats. This was one of the most important turning points in feline history. The big cat branch, known scientifically as pantherine, gave rise to lions, tigers, leopards, and jaguars. These cats were powerful, with massive skulls, deep chests, and loud roars. They evolved to dominate open landscapes and hunt large prey like deer, antelope, and even buffalo. The roar itself was a powerful tool. It could be heard for miles, marking territory and warning rivals. Each big cat adapted to its environment. Lions formed prides in the African savanna. Tigers became solitary rulers of dense forests. Leopards mastered climbing trees. And jaguars developed bone-crushing jaws to hunt in jungles. The small cat branch, known as feline, followed a different path. These cats were smaller, lighter, and more silent. Instead of roaring, they developed purring as their special sound. They were stealth hunters specialized in catching rodents, birds, and smaller animals. This group gave rise to cheetahs, lynxes, caracals, and eventually our domestic cats. Unlike the big cats, small cats relied less on brute force and more on agility, patience, and precision. As climates changed, cats continued to adapt. In open grasslands, cheetahs evolved to become the fastest land animals, reaching speeds of 70 miles per hour to chase antelope. In cold regions, lynxes grew thick fur and large paws like snowshoes to move on snow. In deserts, sandcats developed pale fur for camouflage and the ability to survive with very little water. Each environment sculpted its own version of a cat. But despite their differences, whether big or small, all cats shared one thing: the perfect hunter design. Retractable claws, sharp carnassial teeth, flexible spines, and night vision eyes remained their common tools. Evolution had created many versions of cats, but the essence of the feline predators stayed the same. By this stage, cats were no longer just one kind of animal. They had become a family of hunters spread across the world, each adapted to a unique lifestyle. This was the foundation from which the domestic cat story would eventually grow. As time moved forward, cats were spreading across continents, living as powerful hunters in forests, deserts, and grasslands. But around 10,000 years ago, a new chapter began, the connection between cats and humans. This was the true beginning of domestication. The story starts in the Fertile Crescent, the region of the Middle East where humans first began farming. People were storing grain in large containers, and wherever grain was stored, rodents soon appeared. These mice and rats became a serious problem for early farmers. But nature had already designed the perfect solution: wildcats. Wildcats such as the African wildcat Felis libica started to wander near villages because they found an endless supply of prey in human grain stores. Unlike lions or leopards, these wildcats were small, cautious, and less dangerous to people. They did not attack humans. Instead, they focused on rodents. Slowly, humans began to tolerate their presence. Farmers realized that these little hunters were protecting their food by killing pests. This was not a case of humans capturing cats. Instead, it was cats who chose to live near humans. Step by step, they became less fearful, and humans began to see them as useful companions. People didn't feed or train them at first. Cats provided pest control, and in return, they found safety and food around villages. Over generations, some wildcats became friendlier, less aggressive, and more tolerant of human presence. These were the cats that survived and reproduced near people, while the more hostile ones stayed wild. This natural selection slowly shaped the ancestors of today's domestic cats. Evidence of this bond has been found in archaeology. In Cyprus, a 9,500-year-old burial site was discovered, where a human was buried side by side with a cat, proof that cats were already special to humans. Ancient Egyptian art also shows cats being respected and even worshipped. Over time, this relationship grew deeper. Humans began to see cats not only as helpers, but also as symbols of protection and good fortune. In some cultures, they were seen as magical creatures with a connection to the spiritual world. Their silent hunting style and glowing eyes at night made them mysterious, and people associated them with power and mystery. Thus, around 10,000 years ago, cats began their journey from wild hunters to human companions. Unlike dogs, who were actively trained by humans, cats domesticated themselves. They saw benefit in living with us, and humans welcomed them because they were silent protectors of food and grain. And from this small beginning, the legend of the domestic cat was born. As cats became closer to humans, their role began to change. They were no longer just silent hunters of rodents. In many ancient civilizations, cats rose to a level of deep respect, even worship. Now they were not only protectors of grain, but also symbols of mystery, power, and divinity. The most famous example comes from ancient Egypt. Egyptians were among the first people to treat cats as sacred animals. Around 4,000 years ago, cats were so valued that harming or killing one was considered a serious crime. Egyptians admired their hunting skills, graceful movements, and glowing eyes at night. To them, cats seemed to carry magical powers. One of the most important Egyptian goddesses was Bastet, the goddess of home, fertility, and protection. She was often depicted as a woman with the head of a lioness or a domestic cat. Families believed keeping cats in their homes brought blessings and protection. Some cats were even mummified and buried with their owners, showing how deeply they were loved. From Egypt, the reputation of cats spread to other cultures. In ancient Rome, cats were welcomed for their rodent-killing abilities, but they also became symbols of independence and freedom. Roman soldiers sometimes took cats with them on military campaigns, believing they brought luck and protection. In the Far East, cats also gained spiritual significance. In China, they were seen as guardians against evil spirits. In Japan, the belief in the Maneki Neko, the beckoning cat statue, still continues today, symbolizing good luck and prosperity. But cats were not always celebrated. In medieval Europe during the Middle Ages, Cheetahs, especially black cats, were sometimes linked with witchcraft and dark magic. This negative image caused many cats to be killed, which ironically led to more rats and spread of diseases like the plague. Still, despite such periods of fear, the bond between humans and cats never broke. By the end of the ancient world, cats had already achieved something remarkable. They were no longer just animals. They had become part of human culture, religion, and daily life. They were hunters, companions, protectors, and even gods in the eyes of many. This spiritual and cultural journey prepared them for their next chapter, becoming the beloved pets we know today. Today, cats are among the most loved animals on Earth. Their journey from wild hunters millions of years ago to companions inside our homes is one of the most fascinating stories of evolution and evaluation. The modern domestic cat is not just an animal we feed, it's a symbol of comfort, beauty, and mystery. There are now more than 400 recognized breeds of cats worldwide. Each has its own identity, appearance, and personality. From the graceful Siamese with striking blue eyes, to the fluffy Persian with its royal charm, to the majestic Maine Coon known as the gentle giant. Every breed reflects a piece of history and human influence. Some breeds were shaped for beauty, others for companionship, but all cats still carry the instincts of their wild ancestors. Over the centuries, cats became more than just useful animals. They became emotional partners. Unlike dogs who openly show loyalty and obedience, cats keep a unique balance. They are independent yet affectionate. They won't always follow your command, but when they choose to curl up on your lap, it feels like a gift. This sense of mystery is exactly why humans admire them so much. In the modern world, cats are also part of culture and entertainment. They rule social media, star in memes, and appear in movies and literature as symbols of elegance, mystery, and intelligence. Their calm nature makes them perfect companions for busy city dwellers, while their hunting instincts still shine in rural farms. This balance between wildness and companionship keeps them forever unique. Cats also provide a kind of therapy. The studies show that the sound of a cat's purr can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and bring comfort to people suffering from loneliness. In hospitals, nursing homes, and ordinary households, cats silently heal without saying a word. They may not understand human language, but they understand human emotion. And still, despite living in human homes for thousands of years, cats never fully lost their independence. They remain mysterious. They come and go as they please, demand attention on their own terms, and remind us that they were once wild hunters who chose to live with humans, not the other way around. So after millions of years, the cat's journey continues. From saber-toothed predators to Egyptian goddesses, from village mouse hunters to global internet celebrities, cats have adapted, survived, and thrived. Yet one question remains. Do we truly own cats? Or have cats in their silent and mysterious way always owned us? If you enjoyed this evolution and evaluation story, make sure to subscribe to our channel. The next chapter of animal evolution is waiting for you. Don't miss it.